and welcome to the live watch-along of Red Bull KTM's presentation of their livery. So, just gonna wait for that. As well, as you see, you can hear it. You can hear the music, so I'm also watching this live, so wala, kinikilig lang kasi ako sa'yo. Alright, so anyway, we're still waiting for the presentation to go live, so right now, yeah, Red Bull, if you want to look at the team presentation as a whole, link in the description below. Actually, no, just search up MotoGP, and yeah, as you can see, this is the KTM when it's 2022. And compared to this last season, it looks actually kind of, it's vibing. So yeah, Binda, that KTM colors. He is still in this KTM colors in 2025. So Red Bull, as you know, they have not changed this livery, only just the white text. Other than that, it's literally a livery from 2018 KTM. From 2018, 2024. And then, yeah. As far as other things are concerned, as you know, KTM are in financial trouble. But, yeah, so KTM, as you know, Red Bull KTM has been in MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3 for a long while, since 2015, I think 2015, 2016. The KTM was in Moto3, Moto2. 2017, you know, they made a team in MotoGP, the Premier Class. It's called Red Bull KTM Factory. Didn't have a satellite team back then, so it was the only KTM team. Okay, there's Chris Jordan.
Hello and a very good morning to you, and welcome to the team presentation for Red Bull KTM Factory Racing and Red Bull KTM.
Yeah,
Tech 3.
exactly.
We're getting two for the price of one this morning. So a very big welcome along to the latest team presentation show where we're going to have 4 bikes revealed. 4 brilliant riders we're going to hear from as well, and arguably KTM's most stacked lineup ever in MotoGP, so it's an exciting show.
So, okay, as I was just watching this, the history of KTM, 2017 they made a team. They had their first podium, 2018 in Valencia with Paul Espargaro. They had 2018 with Paul Espargaro. 2017 to 2018 is where KTM were just like building. They were like a midfield to like back of the pack team. 2019 they were starting to be in the midfield. Now they were fighting for top 10s with the likes of Paul Espargaro, who was his teammate? Bradley Smith. They were battling it out, but they also in 2019 they got a satellite team, and the satellite team was called Red Bull KTM Tech 3, which will also be presented in here as well, in the watch along. So KTM, as I said, got the satellite team in 2019. They named it Tech 3. They had the blue overalls, as you know, blue overalls. The riders were Moto2 runner-up Miguel Oliveira in 2019 and Happy Cyrene, which, actually, fun fact, Happy Cyrene was a rookie in 2018 for Tech 3 was still, I think, had a multi-year, like 1 more year in his contract after 2018. So he was also the transition to 2019, except in 2019, Hafiz and Miguel didn't. Well, yeah, it's Tech 3, but compared to last season where they were Yamaha, yeah. But yeah, they transitioned from Yamaha to KTM. Tech 3, by the way, Tech 3 had a history of good ride. They had good results. Zarco, they had Zarco 2017, 2018.
Shark, Shaka Mazuron, that comes from Subby 89, and I couldn't agree more. Pedro Acosta, what a rising talent he is. Yet to win in the MotoGP class, but he is a two-time world champion across the Moto2 and Moto3 categories, 2 in 3 years. Will he get that first win this year? Let's go KTM. That came from a South African comment. I will watch this because I am a fan of Maverick Vinales from Benz.
Yeah, alright.
Vinales, of course, a 10-time MotoGP race winner, the only rider in 2024 to stop the Ducatis from taking the top step, and he moves to the top race squad this season. Very exciting time to see what he can do. Live from Nigeria, Africa, that comes from Odogu BLT, so it's great to see KTM have fans stretching across the globe and across the continents. Keep those comments coming in and we will react as we go along. Now, one of the things about this
Okay, anyway, back to the history, as you see from the comments. 2019, yeah, as I said about results, Tech 3 had a good history before 2019. They had Johan Zarco, who was fighting for third in position in 2018. But of course, they transitioned to KTM, who was one of the worst. Actually, it's Honda, then Yamaha, then Ducati. Actually, it's Honda, Ducati, Yamaha, close between Ducati and Yamaha. Then it was what else? It was KTM. Sorry, it was Suzuki in fourth. There was Suzuki in fourth, and then fifth was KTM. Then the last spot was Aprilia. So they weren't the worst team, but they were the second worst. Still, yeah, mediocre. But yeah, as I said, they were battling in midfield with the factory. As for Tech 3, they're experiencing some new things. And then 2020 came. And 2020 was the most successful year that KTM had in maybe its history. First off, Brad Binder was fighting for... He got his first win for KTM. He got KTM's first win in 2020. Paul Espargaro was fighting for podium consistently in 2020. Of course, it's 2020, it was probably it. But then, Miguel Oliveira for Tech 3 won in the Styrian Grand Prix in 2020, which was amazing for KTM. And then, yeah, well, it was starting to be a little bit subtle, but Paul Espargaro was there in the championship. He was fighting for a title in a KTM in 2020. 2020 is unarguably KTM's peak year. That's what I say. It's their peak year, because not the team, not their factory team that had success, but also their satellite team. Both teams had their successes of their own in Austria, in KTM's backyard. Paul Espargaro's fighting for podiums there. Styria, I mean, Miguel Oliveira wins, and then he won twice. Miguel Oliveira won more in a satellite KTM in 2020 than any other rider, even the factory riders combined. But there was a reason to that. Oliveira had good pace. He also had a decent bike enough to compete for wins. And yeah, KTM just had a great year in 2020. The next year, well, they have a new lineup. They have, in the factory team, Binder was retained after his brilliant rookie season, and then Miguel Oliveira was promoted to the KTM team, to the factory team. Not surprising, because he won 2 races in a satellite bike, his satellite KTM. But then in Tech 3, on the other end, we see Danilo Petrucci from Ducati coming into the satellite KTM team alongside Iker Lecuona. Now, 2021 was a little bit subtle. It was a little bit subtle, but they still won 2 races. One, Austria 2021. Austria 2021. Brad Binder winning with slicks in a wet track. Yes, Brad Binder did not pit and won the race. He won the race on wet tire, on a wet track on slick tires. On the last 3 laps, he was nursing that thing. That is insane. And I'm not gonna lie, that was a brilliant win by Brad. Miguel, he had a subtle year. He had actually like a little subtle year. Binder was actually no. They didn't win. Alright, I'm just correcting this. They didn't win 2 races in 2021. But they won. Actually, no. Oliveira. Yeah, the second one, Oliveira won in Catalan, which was insane as well. KTM had 2 years, 2020, 2021, where they both had wins. They had both successful. The satellite team, they were pretty quiet, but the factory team, they were just carrying the KTM's name as per usual. 2022 is where all things still align. First off, Miguel Oliveira won Indonesia in a soaking. The first Indonesian Grand Prix was won by KTM. Miguel Oliveira won in a wet soaking race. But most of all, Miguel Oliveira he just went bonkers in 2022. He got a win in Thailand in 2022 in the wet again, and he won both races. The second place man was Jack Miller. Miguel Oliveira was the rainmaster in that season. Brad Binder, he was, well, yeah, Binder was there. He was a little bit quiet, but at least he finished in at least like, hold on, he finished P6 in the standings, which is bonkers considering his team has 2 more wins than him. But I mean, it is what it is, I guess. So anyways, moving on. 2023, I don't get it. Why they fired Miguel Oliveira? I guess there's some cases why, but Why would you fire the man who won 4 races with you in the past 2 seasons, has more wins than Brad Binder in his entire career, only to replace with Jack Miller? I don't understand. Like, alright, Jack Miller is a Red Bull athlete, but it doesn't make sense. Like, to me, it doesn't make sense why you're flipping Miller. I understand other circumstances, but not gonna lie, Miguel Oliveira deserved another year at KTM. He only had 2 short years, and he had 4 wins. Brad Binder had 2 wins, but also was there for 3 for 3 years, for 2 years as well. So for like 3 years as well, he had more years, more experience, but no wins. But I see the reason why. Miguel Oliveira was not consistent. I see Miguel wasn't consistent. You see, 2022, he finished 10th in standings with 149 points. Binder finished 6th with 188 points. In 2021, Brad Binder finished 6th again with 151 points. Miguel Oliveira only had 94 points and in 14th place. It's not about the wins. It was about the results. Jack Miller on the Ducati finished 4th and 5th in that KTM. So in that Ducati, I mean. So they understand why they moved him, so we're gonna move on to that. 2023 is where 2023 was not good. I mean, it was good in the sense that Brad Binder finished 4th in the standings and was contending for podiums and wins. But Jack Miller, his replacement, only finished 163 points. Understandable, but yeah. Jack Miller was not there compared to his teammate. He got outscored 133 points. His only moments in that season was in Jerez, where he was doing well. He was actually doing well, but he got outperformed. He actually was doing decently, actually, but he got outperformed most of the season by Brad Binder. Well, and in 2024, it was basically the same. Miller got outperformed. And yeah, that's KTM's story, I guess. So now, let's go with the team presentation. Whoa. I knew it was the same livery. Yeah, as expected, it is the same livery as this. Just the arrow is just there. Tech 3. It's also the... Bro, it's the same livery, except for sponsors at the... under there. It's literally the same livery for both KTMs. I see the difference, but it's literally the same concept. I don't like this livery. Well, I'll actually rate that like a 7 out of 10.
That message is loud and clear from KTM. They are Red Bull KTM, and they are ready to race. And how good do they look?
Basically, this is the livery, but you see that green under there? They changed it with the Mobile One, and then those things on the front, on the arrow, on the front fairing, they changed the color that from orange on the top to black. So I'll give that a 7 out of 10. Now, a 7 out of 10, maybe too high, maybe too low for both, but it's a Red Bull KTM. What do you expect? It's a KTM. They've had this livery for the past, what, 4 to 5 years. They only changed, actually. It's just the Red Bull font. That's it. But yeah, the rest, I mean, the aero looks good, the aero looks decent, but it's just the same livery. I don't feel. That's why I give it a 7. Because of the coach is still there, even though they have issues. They have problems behind the scenes, which I see, but it's still the same. I'll give it a 7. I just gave it a 7 for the coach. I just gave it a 7 because I'm giving them a high score. I'm just giving them a high score. But it's basic. It's basic, dude. It's actually basic. Now, compare it to the VR46 livery. The VR46 livery, I'm giving that a 7.5. You know why? Because they changed. Yes, it's the same livery. That's why I gave it 7.5. But the 0.5 is there because they've added little detail that represents their team. KTM, they didn't change a thing. They only changed the sponsor. They put some aero in the bike. That's it. So that's gonna be it for this presentation, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, you can leave the comments below what your rating is on the new KTM livery, and maybe in the comments below on the stream. But as always, it's Jake. It's goodbye and take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you in the next presentation. And I'm gonna stream some Fortnite today because I want to level up to get that battle pass. Goodbye from MotoGP World. Hello, back. Welcome back.